Augustin Pfleger is a composer from the 17th century. He's one of those composers you never heard about, but whose music is there somewhere in library shelves, just waiting to be discovered, and it's actually amazing music. One of the things that really surprised us when we began this was that Christ is singing. He's not only kind, he can also be terribly scary. The voice type of Jesus is the bass. The bass singer is singing Jesus, but sometimes he also sings God. And sometimes it's not really what you thought you would hear. And I think this is something which really surprised us. This album is not only a collection of pieces, it's a story. And what we really try to do with this album is to choose music which, taken together, tells the story of the life of Christ. We chose to add to the continuo the instrument which is called, in Norwegian, hakkebrett. Hakkebrett is a very special word in Norwegian. It really means chopping board. And when you say that word, you imagine one of those toys for children where you hammer on a board without ever stopping. I'm sure that's been annoying to many parents. But this instrument, together with other instruments we choose to add, really gives, I think, a quite special sound. And it's also, these are instruments that were really used a lot in the Nordic countries in this period, and which have to some extent disappeared today. So I think it's a nice thing to recreate this sound. Orkester Nord is an orchestra performing on period instruments based in Trondheim, Norway. So we are based in a way slightly outside the center of Europe. We are in Trondheim in Norway, far away from the famous musical centers of today. But at the same time, what we want to do is to perhaps use this peripheral position also to approach music in a different way. We look into the music which hasn't perhaps survived, and that allows us also to see the more famous music in a different light. If you look at someone as Bach, for instance, who is tremendously famous today, played all of the plays, has been for 150 years. In his own time, Bach wasn't that famous. Not because he wasn't good, but because his works simply weren't published. They were discovered by Mendelssohn and by others in the beginning of the 19th century. And the case of Bach, of course, is unique because he was a big genius. But this doesn't mean that there couldn't be other geniuses out there. And of course, we have discovered a lot. Musicology and researchers have found many things. But still, there is much music waiting there. And I think some composers have been part of our Occidental canon, as one could call it. But those composers were part of a bigger picture in their own day. And I think discovering this bigger picture also allows us to understand perhaps their works in a better way. Hallelujah.